Hello, everybody. My name is Hedley Nguyen Quintana. I am a medical doctor, and I am also a master in molecular biology. And I hope so. And I hope within a couple of days I will become a philosophical doctor in epidemiology. And in this video, I will try to rebut the idea of the sex-related brain size. The first thing that I would like to point out is that there is a difference in the size of the brain between male and female. This difference appear very early in life, perhaps actually 6 months after birth, and actually is maintained all the during the whole life. And this difference become relatively larger when the person actually after the teenage years and so on. But this is a relative large amount of difference between male and female humans. If we actually one of MGTOWs, for example, third-flinging monkey, state that since men actually have a larger brain than females, the matter, the stuff making the brain actually is larger. Therefore, men actually are more intelligent, or men are more capable to do things than women. Uh, One thing that I would like to point out before I continue is that I cannot deny that there is a difference between the sexual there's a dimorphism in humans, and this dimorphism in humans, one of the main reasons for this thing actually are the sexual hormones. In this image, we see actually the three main sexual hormones that are estradiol, progesterone, that are females hormones, and testosterone, that is a male hormone. In females, we're talking about grown-up women. During the female hormones changes according to the menstrual cycle. At the beginning of the menstrual cycle, they are relatively low. They increase and if there is no conception, the women actually decline the levels, and the cycle repeats again and again while the woman has this is fertile. And after the woman actually lost her fertility and become postmenopausal, the levels of the female hormone are comparable to the one that we see in men. But before that, they are very high. And this high level actually makes these differences make this sexual dimorphism. In regard to testosterone, that is the male hormone, this situation is inverted, and male have way higher level compared to females. And this is a reference when I get this information. Following up this thing, this situation actually is while the woman is not pregnant. If a woman become pregnant during the different phases of the menstrual cycle, for example, the progesterone, it also happened with estrogen. They have these cycles that they go up and down in these hormones. However, if a woman become pregnant, the level actually can, for example, the the progesterone here actually has a graph. It goes from, for example, between 4 and 25. Here actually we see that it's about, let's say, 14 nanograms per milliliter. This is the same unit. But when a woman becomes pregnant, actually can grow up to 150 nanogram per milliliter. We're talking about, it's not 10 times more, but it's quite high levels of this hormone, and also the same with estrogen. So the sexual hormones, in the female sexual hormones, are higher in women, obviously, but this level it become way higher when actually the woman actually become pregnant. This is the main message. In the opposite, in the other spectrum, the male hormones are higher in men than in women. Regardless, the the pregnant or non-pregnant status of the woman is perhaps a woman we have a male baby actually have a slightly higher level of testosterone, but it's not a big deal. Okay, then I present a study. The title of the study is Change in Brain Size During and After Pregnancy. I'm talking about comparing women against themselves, but women before and after pregnancy, and a study of healthy women and women with preeclampsia. In the abstract of the study, it says that the brain decreases in size during pregnancies and increases after delivery. These changes follow up a consistent time course in each woman. The mechanism and physiologic importance of the findings are speculative at the present time. This paper was published in 2002. They have a very small number of samples because at that time it was very difficult to get this kind of studies. And if we actually follow the Thorfring monkey and other MGTOW hypothesis, we say that a woman that is not pregnant somehow increases the level of hormones, and the brain size decreases in size, and then the size grow up again after this toxic hormones decreases. No, that is a thing that doesn't make any sense. But following his logic, this is what is actually happens. In the next study, I present another study. It is, I think it's 2011 or 2012. I don't remember the date. Is the changer your sex changer your brain? Influence of testosterone and estrogen on adult human brain structures. The results of the abstract are very interesting. This is compared to controls. Controls are normal men and women. Anti-androgen plus estrogen treatment decrease brain volume in male to female subjects towards female proportions, while androgen treatment in female to male subjects increase total brain and hypothalamus volume towards male proportion. So if we go for this MGTOW hypothesis, you start, you're a male, or you're a female, a cis male or cis female. Your brain actually, the male is bigger, the female is smaller, and that's it. But if you are a male and you want to become, you want to take hormones to actually have secondary characteristic of a female, your brain will decrease. And the other way around, a woman that want to become a man, increase their brain. No, so it means that if we follow his hypothesis, we think that men, when they actually transition, actually become morons, and women who actually transition towards a man become brighter. But doesn't make any sense. Okay, the thing with this theory actually is that they are not based in any kind of anatomical knowledge what is happening inside the brain or inside the head. No? In order to understand actually of an idea, I have a more plausible hypothesis what is going on. You have to know what is inside the head, what is inside the thing. The thing that we call the brain actually is a combination of three kind of different structures. One that are the neurons, that they are divided in two kind of structure. One is the neuron actually have two parts, have a body that actually make up the gray matter, and the axons that actually do the white matter. Also, we have capillaries with blood circulating inside them, going around the brain, and this blood must always be circulating inside the capillaries. Otherwise, you have a bleeding, and it's a big problem. And you also have another thing that is a support tissue that actually make up a half of this brain tissue that you see in autopsies, and also you see in in CT scans and MRIs. Actually, the thing that we call brain actually is a combination of mainly neurons and actually the support tissue, also called glia. Another thing inside the brain is this the cephalospinal fluid that circulate inside hollow spaces inside this brain tissue and also around the brain. Okay, so in the next slide we see this support tissue that is the neuroglia. Actually, there are two kinds of neuroglia, one located in the central nervous system and the other one in the peripheral nervous system. Sorry about my mispronunciation. And we don't care about what happened in the peripheral system, in the central nervous system. There are four kinds of cells forming this support tissue. These are a very small minority, and they're actually located in the spinal cord. But these three guys actually form the vast majority of what are these tissue: the oligodendrocyte, the astrocyte, and the microglia. These three guys form the most important cell tissue or the brain tissue that you see that I mentioned before. Also, this is an actual CT scan of the brain, and you will see that it's actually not I added these arrows here, and you will see that there are black spaces inside the brain. These black spaces, not this one, but this person is quite young. This person is not so old person. This person was quite old. Actually, we'll see actually a black space around the brain, but it's very difficult to see because it's young. But inside the brain, there's this black thing that looked like a butterfly, and this thing that actually looked like a pliers of I don't know, like pliers of a crab, and these are white things. This white thing, none of these things actually contain this brain tissue. These are hollow spaces filled with a liquid that is produced inside this central nervous system. So I would like to tell you about a thing called the MONRO-KELLIE doctrine or MONRO-KELLIE hypothesis. And according to this hypothesis, they state that it doesn't apply to children less than 1 year old, but after 1 year of age, the brain actually become like a closed structure. In children, it start to grow a bit, but suddenly it stopped growing. I think after 2 or 5 years, I don't remember the age, the skull stopped growing, and after regardless the age, in of this time, the head is static. The amount of volume is constant inside the head. Regardless if you're a man or a woman, in man actually have a larger volume than women. And according to this doctrine or hypothesis, the amount of different stuff comprising inside the head, mainly the brain tissue and the cephalospinal fluid, the sum of these two things is always constant. However, in some circumstances, you can actually have an increased amount of cerebrospinal fluid. When it happens, the brain reduces its volumes and actually give room for this excess of cerebrospinal fluid. This actually happens when these hollow structures inside the head are obstructed, and it's if the obstruction actually take it is not resolved properly, the person actually can die, not due to the destruction of the cell inside the brain. It's more related to an herniation of the brain, that actually the brain actually tries to escape for another place and so on. It's a big problem to have an obstruction of the cerebral spinal fluid. Another situation that can happen is that you can have a foreign mass inside the head. This is a abnormal situation. This could be a tumor, could be an abscess, or could be blood that are outside the capillaries. When this situation happens, both the brain and the cerebrospinal fluid reduces their volume and actually give room to this mass. And these three situations, the normal, the CF obstruction, and the mass, actually are related to what is the MONRO-KELLIE doctrine that is related to that. When you have an obstruction of the CFS, you have to put a derivation outside the head, and when you have a mass, depending of the mass or whatever, you must drain the mass, or you can leave it there according to different criteria and so on. But this is what it is, the MONRO-KELLIE doctrine or hypothesis. My idea or my hypothesis is that this Monroe-Kelly actually can be also sex related. It means that the men, beside having a larger amount of volume inside the head, the amount of spinal cerebral fluid is lower compared to what actually you will see in a woman. This difference in size is a very small difference, but still is a difference between the amount of spinal fluid in women. Women have more spinal fluid, make the brain of the apparent brain tissue that have neurons and have this additional thing, have less volume compared to what happened with men. If we go back to these studies that I presented, in both of these studies, not this one, in the study, one thing that caught my eye is that women who suffer preeclampsia, well, preeclampsia is a bit tricky, this part, but during pregnancy, the amount of hollow spaces inside the brain increases, making the volume of the brain, that is it should be constant, when you sum up the volume of the brain and the spinal fluid constant, make the brain actually look smaller. And after the woman have the childbirth, this volume actually reduces and the brain grows again in size. It also happened during this transsexual hormonal treatment in men. I mean, when men go to transition toward females, this ventricle they decrease in size, while a woman, sorry, when men make transition to a female, the ventricle of the spinal fluid, the whole space where the spinal fluid move, this increase in size and actually reduce the amount of brain tissue, and vice versa. No? Another thing I'm not mentioning here is where a woman or women, sorry, has an increased propensity to develop headaches that actually could be related to an increase in the cephalospinal fluid. Another thing that women actually are more likely to develop than men is actually a tumor of one of the structures that regulates the amount of CFS. That is the volume of the meningioma, the meninges, especially the meninges that are around the brain. This, especially the one in the top, they are the one who regulate the amount of this spinal fluid. And actually, it caught my attention that these tumors are more common in women. This is very speculative hypothesis that I would like to propose. I don't have some solid evidence that support it, but these hypotheses have some anatomical grounding that different what these MGTOW like DFM actually are presenting. So thank you for your attention, and I hope to receive some feedback and some ideas about this hypothesis that I'm proposing. Thank you a lot of.